The Path by William Quan Judge, read by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. This article appeared in the Path magazine of April 1886. This magazine is not intended either to replace or to rival in America the Theosophist, nor any other journal now published in the interest of Theosophy. Whether we are right in starting it, the future alone will determine. To us it appears that there is a field and a need for it in this country. No cultivating of this field is necessary, for it is already ripe. The Theosophist is the organ of the Theosophical Society, now spread all over the world. Its readers and subscribers are everywhere, and yet there are many persons who will not subscribe for it, although they are aware of its existence. And furthermore, being an Indian publication, it necessarily follows, because of certain peculiar circumstances, that it cannot be brought to the attention of a large class of persons whom this journal will endeavour to reach. But while the founders of the Path are Theosophists, they do not speak authoritatively for the Theosophical Society. It is true that had they never heard of Theosophy, or were they not members of the Society, they would not have thought of bringing out this magazine, the impulse for which arose directly from theosophical teachings and literature. It is because they are people, and therefore interested in anything concerning the human race, that they have resolved to try on the one hand to point out to their fellows a path in which they have found hope for humanity, and on the other to investigate all systems of ethics and philosophy claiming to lead directly to such a path, regardless of the possibility that the highway may, after all, be in another direction from the one in which they are looking. From their present standpoint, it appears to them that the true path lies in the way pointed out by our ancient forefathers, philosophers and sages, whose light is still shining brightly, albeit that this is now the Kali Yuga, or Age of Darkness. The solution of the problem, what and where is the path to happiness, has been discovered by those of old time. They thought it was in the pursuit of Raja Yoga, which is the highest science and the highest religion, a union of both. In elaborating this, they wrote much more than we can hope to master in the lifetime of this journal, and they have had many kinds of followers, many devotees who, while earnestly desiring to arrive at truth, have erred in favour of the letter of the teachings. Such are some of the mendicants of Hindustan, who insist upon the verbal repetition of Om for thousands of times, or upon the practice of postures and breathing alone, forgetting that over all stands a real man, at once the spectator of and the sufferer by these mistakes. This is not the path. At the same time, we do not intend to slight the results arrived at by others who lived within our own era. They shall receive attention, for it may be that the mind of humanity has changed so as to make it necessary now to present truths in a garb which in former times was of no utility. Whatever the outer veil, the truth remains ever the same. The study of what is now called practical occultism has some interest for us and will receive the attention it may merit, but it is not the object of this journal. We regard it as incidental to the journey along the path. The traveller, in going from one city to another, has perhaps to cross several rivers. Maybe his conveyance fails him and he is obliged to swim, or he must, in order to pass a great mountain, know engineering in order to tunnel through it, or is compelled to exercise the art of locating his exact position by observation of the sun. But all that is only incidental to his main object of reaching his destination. We admit the existence of hidden powerful forces in nature, and believe that every day greater progress is made towards an understanding of them. Astral body formation, clairvoyance, looking into the astral light, and controlling elementals is all possible, but not all profitable. The electric current, which when resisted in the carbon produces intense light may be brought into existence by any ignoramus who has the key to the engine room and can turn the crank that starts the dynamo, but is unable to prevent his fellow man or himself from being instantly killed should that current accidentally be diverted through his body. The control of these hidden forces is not easily obtained, nor can phenomena be produced without danger, and in our view the attainment of true wisdom is not by means of phenomena, but through the development which begins within. Besides that, mankind in the mass are not able to reach to phenomena, while everyone can understand right thought, right speech, and right action. True occultism is clearly set forth in the Bhagavad Gita and the Light on the Path, where sufficient stress is laid upon practical occultism. But after all, Krishna says, the kingly science and the kingly mystery is devotion to and study of the light which comes from within. The very first step in true mysticism and true occultism is to try to apprehend the meaning of universal brotherhood, without which the very highest progress in the practice of magic turns to ashes in the mouth. We appeal, therefore, to all who wish to raise themselves and their fellow creatures, man and beast, out of the thoughtless jog-trot of selfish everyday life. It is not thought that utopia can be established in a day, but through the spreading of the idea of universal brotherhood, the truth in all things may be discovered. Certainly, if we all say that it is useless, that such highly strung sentimental notions cannot obtain currency, nothing will ever be done. A beginning must be made, and has been, by the Theosophical Society. Although philanthropic institutions and schemes are constantly being brought forward by good and noble men and women, vice, selfishness, brutality, and the resulting misery seem to grow no less. Riches are accumulating in the hands of the few, while the poor are ground harder every day as they increase in number. Prisons, asylums for the outcast and the Magdalene, can be filled much faster than it is possible to erect them. All this points unerringly to the existence of a vital error somewhere. It shows that merely healing the outside by hanging a murderer or providing asylums and prisons will never reduce the number of criminals, nor the hordes of children born and growing up in hotbeds of vice. What is wanted is true knowledge of the spiritual condition of man, his aim and destiny. This is offered to a reasonable certainty in the ancient Indian literature, and those who must begin the reform are those who are so fortunate as to be placed in the world where they can see and think out the problems all are endeavouring to solve, even if they know that the great day may not come until after their death. Such a study leads us to accept the utterance of Prajapati to his sons: be restrained, be liberal, be merciful. It is the death of selfishness.